Let's say annually you were given a chance to buy one expensive item. Others would go for the latest gadgets like phones or laptops, while others would opt for automobiles. But you ever wondered how companies and manufacturers could produce the most advanced technology in a span of a year? Where do old models go? For instance, cars in today's decade are more aerodynamic, more lightweight, and have more fuel efficient engines than they were in the 1990s. With all of these improvements from gadgets to machinery, you'd assume that the environmental effect has decreased. Unfortunately, it didn't help. Moreover, it created a new problem called overconsumption and production. Overproduction is the process of manufacturing different varieties of goods that exceeds the needs of the consumers, while overconsumption implies when a community can no longer sustain the use of its resource. With this, our consumption and production practices have grown less sustainable as a whole. This results to rebound effect wherein an increase in technology efficiency may drive an increase in consumption. Examples on this are the affordability and accessibility of modern technology. The cheaper the technology, the wider the scope in terms of target market. Consequently, roads are becoming more congested since people can afford cars and outdated technologies are kept in storage unused.
Sustainable development must take into account the environment, society, and economics all at once. The well-known IPAT equation can be used to analyze the challenge, which is the primary driving force behind the development of sustainable production and consumption patterns. It shows the total environmental effect, I, as a function of the major drivers, which are the human population P, human affluence A, which may be read as consumption, and the technological component T, which can be equated to production patterns. Consider the following conditions for sustainable climate change effect I in 2050 to get an understanding of how difficult it is to ensure the amount of sustainability. According to the IPCC, we will need to cut our greenhouse gas emissions by up to 70% by 2050 of the current level to have a decent chance of staying below the Paris Agreement. 2. Degree global temperature rise target. Meanwhile, the worldwide production fee is expected to grow by a factor of 1.4 by 2050, reaching 9.755 billion people.
SDG 12 specifically addresses responsible consumption and production and aims to ensure sustainable consumption and production. With some of the targets concerning sustainable management, in addition to the use of natural resources, food waste reduction through prevention, reduction, recycling, and reuse. Life cycle thinking is a vital tool in understanding responsible consumption and production, regardless of the product or sector, because developing solutions for ecologically friendly end-of-life management of items, such as recycling, is insufficient. Background and foreground systems are used by products to deliver functionalities. Foreground systems are those that are particular to the product's operation throughout its lifespan. Background systems, on the other hand, are created. They help the software system run smoothly, but are not particular to that product. As an example, consider electric vehicles. The full lifespan of an electric car is represented in the foreground system, from the materials used in manufacture to the end of life. Throughout the lifespan of an electric vehicle, energy, electricity, or another form is present in the background system. Although electricity is essential for the operation of the electric vehicle foreground system, it is also general and it is utilized by other product systems as televisions and automobiles.
In other products such as Coke and Pepsi, the major focus has always been on the packaging and how it should be handled. In reality, the environmental effect hotspot is in the production of the corn syrup needed to make the beverage, which is in the background system. However, a lifetime view is insufficient to fulfill the SDG 12, since it assumes that consumption and production are not independent, which is seldom the case. Remember the rebound effect? A significant improvement in the eco-efficiency of product and technology is definitely required to achieve a sustainable level of environmental impact. However, examples such as LEDs, TVs, and automobiles shows that focusing on environmental eco-efficiency alone will not be adequate to ensure long-term use and production. Not only do we need to rethink manufacturing patterns, but we also need to rethink consumption, as the rebound effect demonstrates. Thus, the buck stops with you. Take a look at your own consumption. Take a look at the entire life cycle of the items and services you use. Are there any products that aren't as good as this? Do you really need them?